Oh my goodness. Okay. Hey guys, so it's Teresa, and I know that you guys see me and you're like, wow, she's smiling. She must be in such a good mood today. She's not. Okay? So, just there's some days that you will just not be in a good mood, and that is me today. I am not in a good mood, and that's okay. That is okay, guys, because honestly, there's a lot of stuff that can happen in your life. And I understand, I keep looking at myself. I'm sorry, I'll try and look at you guys. Okay, there's a lot of things that can happen in your life. Recently, a lot of stuff has been going down, and it is so hard to have like a good godly perspective on it because that's a huge part of it. It's like after you become a Christian, it's not like like, oh, he's my help in times of trouble and like, like difficult times, like you just like know that he's there. It's like in the day to day, the mundane. We just talked about this in class today, which is awesome. For those of you guys that don't know, I attend a Bible college, so we could talk about the school stuff like all the time. And that was one of the things we talked about is that like God is with you in the mundane. And what's going on in my life right now does not feel mundane. It feels annoying and hard and hurtful. And those are all very real feelings. But if I'm not with God right now, then like that really reflects my personal walk, my personal relationship with Him. So even now, even when I'm frustrated, I need to show, Lord, I trust you. Lord, I trust you. And let me just say, that does not come naturally. Like, and then also, like, whenever you trust someone, okay, one second. And grab my, okay, cool. Whenever you trust someone, like you make yourself, I'm like creepy waddling over here. Whenever you trust someone, you make yourself vulnerable to them. And I don't like being vulnerable, and I think a lot of people don't. It's not something that people enjoy because it's scary. It's so, so scary, especially I want to say for guys too, because like, I don't know, they need to be the man or they need to be the provider or whatever. So it's terrifying. Being like, hey, look, I trust you. That stuff is terrifying, okay? Okay, so these were just some things that I want to talk about because they really hit home today. So right now in class, we are going through, I like break out the binder. Oh, you know it's going to be good then. Okay. Please don't read it. Please don't read it. There's a lot of writing in there, okay? That's just to show you that. Okay, so a couple things we've been talking about in class that I think are pretty significant and just very, very helpful to illustrate my point are as follows. Okay, first off, like what you're thankful for reflects what is going on inside of you. And I think that's a really good question. Like that's like, when you think about it, what are you thankful for? And there's like the current, like what's going on in your life that you're thankful for. And there's just like in general, what are some things that, I just have to like put something in government for my face. And like in general, what are some things that you're thankful for? But like for me, the thing that will always be, like important to me is my family. Like I will always be thankful for my family. So that is always something that, that I'm thinking about or like, but it shows like how you're raised, like, I'm thankful for like how I was raised, like stuff like that. It just shows what's important to you and what you value. Not going to be able to elaborate a ton on that. Also, we talked about how music relationships and thankfulness both reflect and shape your inner heart. So whatever music you're listening to, that both reflects the things that are going on inside of you and it both shapes it. I know this, like, when I'm going through a difficult time, like, so I sing a lot, like, that's just, like, a habit I have, and I love that. I love that I do that. It's just kind of a fun habit, and I think it's also kind of like a stress reliever. But I've noticed a lot of the songs that I'll be singing, I'm like, that matches what I'm going through right now. And sometimes it's a secular song, sometimes it's a Christian song, but it's like, So it's just kind of interesting how, like, it matches whatever's going on in my heart. And then other times, there'll be times where I'm listening to music, and, like, I can feel it kind of shaping me and like what I believe, my opinions on things. And sometimes that's good, but other times it like kind of numbs you or desensitizes you to certain issues where like in the word you'd be like, okay, I firmly believe this, but like when you're listening to the songs you're like, well, maybe that's okay, and if honestly maybe it's not that bad. So it like shapes you too. Also with relationships, ooh, it just got dark. Relationships reflect your inner heart, and they shape your inner heart. And that, that's so true. They say, like, whoever you hang around with, that's who you become like. And I think also what you're going through will also kind of define who you seek out. Okay, that's probably a huge point too. Like, what you're going through will really, really define what you're seeking out in friends. Because I remember senior year, I was going through a tough time, and well, I mean, like like everyone's always going through a tough time. But I was going through a difficult time, and like I remember seeking out in the latter part of my senior year, like destructive relationships, and just kind of craving that almost. And it was because I felt in my own heart this just like this lost, this, I just felt very, very lost, and I was very, very sad. And so instead of looking at things that are beneficial to me and things that would help me, I was like seeking out the most destructive avenues, and like that's what I wanted. That was in my heart because I was so sad. Like, do you ever get so sad where you're just like, oh, like whatever, I don't know, might as well trash it because it's already throwing away. Like that was, excuse me, that was kind of my attitude, which was not good. And I'm thankful that I was able to go to this school this year, but I've noticed like I still have the same kind of habits, and I'm sure most people do too. Just like that feeling and that tendency to go back to the things that have hurt you, which is so hard. Because it's like, after you become a Christian, it's like your sin nature against the spirit sanctifying you. So it's like this constant battle between like what is natural to you, your sin nature, and what feels good to your flesh, and then also what will glorify God and will ultimately be good for you in the long run. And that is not easy. It's so not easy. Definitely is not. And then also with thankfulness, your thankfulness both reflects what's going on in your heart, and it shapes your inner heart as well. I recently saw this one thing. It was on a fitness account, and she was like, I had an epiphany, and one of the things I had an epiphany about was something to stop negative inner voices is thankfulness. And I was like, that's a really good point. So, thankfulness, if you're frustrated, if you're sad, looking for the things to be thankful for really, really make a difference. And there's some days like you're just sad, like you're just sad, and that's okay. Like those days come, and they can pass and everything. But like yikes, I got the burps. Like days like today, like I was so sad. But something that kind of like cheered me up was watching different Christian YouTubers, which was kind of interesting. I wasn't looking for that because, like I said, like I've got kind of destructive habits where like I like to go to things that I know like will hurt me. It's not good. Okay, it's not good. And I was just encouraged by these YouTubers because it was like, they have this real dedication to God and who He is. So that was really, really neat. So yeah, being thankful really helps kind of reshape and refocus kind of where you're at, like as a person. Yeah, just kind of changes your focus. And then I'm just going to talk about like one more thing because, like if there's not a ton of bulleted points for this video, but I do want to try and make it as clean cut as possible. Oh, and then also like lastly, if I'm angry, this is another one of the quotes from class. If I'm angry, it should be motivated by God's heart and God's desires. And you shouldn't speak out of your own agenda or out of your desires. And once again, this is such an unnatural thing for people to do. Like, anytime we're really angry, it's because we feel wronged or we feel offended. So it's a very different, like, sanctifying process, having God work in you and having that godly anger. And then even then, you have to be careful that it's not out of your own pride. Like, oh, I'm so good that this makes me mad. You know what I mean? Like, you need to be careful that it's a godly anger. And a lot of times, just that being as challenging of a kind of a, I want to say an oxymoron, like God can be angry and He can do it in the right way, but that's a lot harder for us to do. So anytime that we are angry, I think it's best just to check it with God and kind of ask Him to work on our hearts. Because recently I've been dealing a lot with anger, and that's been kind of a challenge. And it's hard when you're angry because it's like I want to handle this in a godly way. But I'm so annoyed with this person, and that is so it's difficult because it's like, why am I annoyed? And then how am I reacting to me being annoyed? Because it's, when I put like all that power and all that control in my hands, that's not going to be good, because I am a sinful human. I mess up and I'm selfish. So if I'm constantly like, well, this bothered me, like, well, there's going to be a number of things that bother me. So I need to make sure, like, is it something that God values and God cares about, or is it something, you know, and God cares about me and my personal life, but is it offending God's goodness or his righteousness, or is it offending me and my own agenda? And a lot of times it's just offending me, and I just need to work through it with God. And one of the most current situations is being frustrated with like people that are in my life, and it's like, okay, so if I trust God, would I be worried about this thing? And then it's like, huh, no. So anytime I like, and you know, that's not always, like, everyone has a different struggle or whatever, but for me, that's what I'm going through right now. It's like wondering, okay, is this gonna happen? When is this gonna, and is this gonna be the right person? But if I'm not trusting God, then my focus is in the wrong spot. Even if it is the right person, even if I have a hunch, or even if I, whatever, if it's not the right person and I'm trying to control it on my own, like, it is going to fail. So I need to be constantly submitting myself to him and committing myself to him and his will, which is hard. And it's so funny that I'm saying that, because like I feel like I am one of like the, I don't know, like one of the last people to talk about that. Like, I have the hardest time with that, submitting to him. So yeah, this was a very random video. It's just some things that I've been learning about in school, but I really appreciated them, and I hope that this video helps you. And if you're going through difficult times, just, I don't know, like, leave it in the comments below, and maybe I'll try and address it, because I know for me personally this year has been very, very challenging. So that was just a little something about that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See ya.